What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Friday, December 1st, 2017. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the pure one, at Tim Geddes.
Let Tim host.
That's right, everybody! It's December. Kinda Funny Games Daily's first December, so I'm introducing the seasonal outfit.
I love it.
I liked the Santa hat so much in Animal Crossing Pocket Camp that I said, you know what? If the avatar looks that good in it, I'm wearing this hat every December, Kinda Funny Games Daily.
Commit to the bit.
So let's get some things out in front. Is this going to lead to awkward situations when there's layoffs, when somebody dies in the games industry? Yes, it will. But we're talking about it on day one where
Christmas spirit.
Nothing has gone wrong yet. So we understand we're all committed to the bit. Inevitably, when something horrible happens and I'm reading the news story and somebody's like, oh, you want to take his fucking head off? Remind them on December 1st, Friday, 2017.
Holy day.
We said, this is the hat. This is Kinda Funny Games Daily for the month of December. Now, the real question is, what happens when I'm not here? Does anyone else don the cap?
No, you don the cap.
Okay.
Wherever you are.
Between the
During
hours
that,
of roughly noon and 1:15.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have to wear the cap. I like
Yes.
that. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily each and every weekday on a variety of platforms. We run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. We do it on a bunch of platforms like twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. We do it later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and we put it on podcast services around the globe. No matter where you are, be part of the show. Right into kindafunny.com/KFGD with your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names, squad up requests, and everything else. We put it in the show here. We all have a good time hanging out together. Remember, if you're watching live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, thank you. Your job, that's right, we're giving you a job, is to keep us honest. Go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on YouTube or listening on a podcast service around the globe. Hat's already itchy. It's day one. Housekeeping. Remember, Andrea Renee is in the running for Trending Gamer of the Year at the Game Awards. We have less than 1 week to go. Go to Google. Google Trending Gamer. Vote. You can vote right there in the app. Get it done. If you have a Facebook, you can go even further with that and vote again if you like, or just vote there if you hate Google. Also, remember, since Game Awards is close, that means PSX is close. There's a variety of activities going on. I've pinned them all to my Twitter profile. I'm hosting interviews with Shuhei and Sean Layden over on that PlayStation Showcase, whatever the hell they call it, kickoff thing Friday night. Saturday, I'm hosting the Uncharted panel. Sunday, I'm doing an autograph signing at 1:30 at PSX, followed by a Portillo's meet and greet. Then, Joey Noel and I, and Jen, climb into a car, drive to San Diego, and Monday night, we do the first ever Kinda Funny White Elephant community gift exchange in-person ugly sweater thing. We all hang out together and have fun and drink Eric Castro's amazing cocktails at Polite Provisions, which is now Miracle on 30th Street Avenue.
Will he have Kevin Snowballs there?
Will he have Kevin Snowballs? No, probably not.
Yeah, I know.
Probably not, but it'll have something as good, if not better. I heard they're doing shit. I did the raid last night. I did the raid last night in Destiny with Steven Osland, right? And he was telling me he's gone there a couple times, and they have some kind of winter old fashioned. I forget what they put in it. I think they put... I forget what they put in. It sounded really good, though. Whatever. And remember, too, that we're brought to you by Lisa.com and Omaha Steaks today, but I'll tell you about them later. The hat is itchy. This was a mistake.
You got an itchy hat?
This was a mistake.
Day one.
Why did I make such a big deal about this?
Minute
For now,
10.
let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 4 items on the Roper Report.
A dozen bakers! Wait, what?
Kevin is having a stroke. What are you pointing at? What's happening?
Did you cover the Megaman live stream yesterday?
I did not cover the Mega Man last
Then
stream.
I'm going to add
A fifth one?
a fifth
Kick
story.
it off. What's
Oh,
happening?
we're starting with Mega Man?
I don't know. You want to put it later?
Oh, we can put it right here, baby.
Okay, woo.
Let's go. This comes from Daily Glixel. Megaman, that's Rolling Stone, if you didn't know.
I do know that. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Crescente now, right?
Yes. Well, this is from Stephanie Fogel. Mega Man to celebrate 30 years with mystery live stream. Capcom's Mega Man turns 30 next month, and the publisher is celebrating the milestone with a live stream event on December 4th. Various outlets, including Siliconera, received cards announcing the broadcast. It reads, "Celebrate the Blue Bombers' big 30th with us. Watch live on December 4th. You won't want to miss it." What is it? Mega Man 30th anniversary live stream. When? December 4th, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time.
Huh.
And
You think it's
where?
gonna be cool?
Twitch.tv/capcommunity, hashtag Megaman30. There's no word on what they're planning yet. But I saw it came with this little fun little box where they had Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 and some little like art books and a little card.
Okay.
So what will they announce? I don't know. Capcom's been out of their minds recently. Like, this could be absolutely nothing, and they're just like, oh yeah, we were just celebrating.
We got to remember, it's Mega Man's, because it happened on the 25th, right? The 25th totally snuck up on them, and they bought that fan-made Mega Man game.
Oh yeah,
and
they're like, oh. So for this, I don't know. We can see something as little as nothing. We can see something as middle as Mega Man X Collection.
Yeah.
Or we can see something as big as, oh, it's a new Mega Man game. Where are we going to fall on that? I'm going to side with the X Collection.
You think so? You don't
I
think
wouldn't be surprised if they don't do shit. I wouldn't be at all.
Stoke the fires enough, right, to put out what Mega Man 11 is what it would be? Mega Man 9, 10, and now 11 would be the next one.
Yeah.
I think they could
no chance of an 11.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think so.
Why not?
No. I think a Mega Man X Collection is the logical next step for based on how they've been treating the franchise. And I just feel that 11 we're past that retro era.
You think
that's that type of retro era? We have Shovel Knight now. Like we have things where it's
but they keep putting out the legacy collections, and you'd think that's because people demand those kind of games, right? And they can't be that hard to make. No offense to people making them. I mean, in terms of like man hours and stuff.
True. I don't know. I imagine if we got another Mega Man, it would be something totally different. Totally like a new style of something, like an actual new game, not just. I mean, it would be a new game if it was 11, but like a new look, new something. Or like the canceled Legends 3 or something like that. I don't know. Mega Man's weird, man.
I don't see them going out and doing what Colin always wanted, which was that open world
Absolutely
third person. That's a E3 announcment. That's a bigger deal. That's not hey,
just,
here's this thing we're doing an
30th
hour-long live stream.
Yeah. So I think that to temper your expectations for this, but I do think a Mega Man X Collection is possible, and if it's not on the Switch, people will be very upset.
It'll be on the Switch. It's got to be
on the
Switch.
other ones weren't.
Yeah, but that's before everybody understood how important the Switch would be.
It was Capcom, and they lazily put Street Fighter on it.
But now they know how successful the Switch is. Speaking of Greg Way, the second item on the Roper Report is that the Nintendo Switch dominated Black Friday. This is via Markets Insider. The Switch was the best-selling product online across all product categories among online retailers on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday, according to Adobe's Digital Insights Initiative. Nintendo offered no discounts during that time, although the console was already priced below $300. Even we had not expected such a record-breaking streak, the analyst wrote in a note. That obviously, I just cut out his name because I'm just giving you the meat of the article. This strong sales... Yeah, that's what he says. Is going to create a robust installed base, which is where game software will monetize over the next 5 to 7 years. Nintendo Switch has performed better than any other competitor in its first few months, the analyst said. Rival Sony announced that PlayStation had its best Black Friday with the most sales in the console's 22-year history. The analyst noted that, unlike Nintendo, Sony offered steep discounts on its consoles. The 1TB PlayStation 4 was priced down to $199 from $299, and the PlayStation 4 Pro was priced at $350, down from $400. Even though the PS4 is breaking company records, it was not enough to make it on the top of the charts with Nintendo. Analyst predicts that the Switch's popularity will not slow down anytime soon. Nintendo stock is trading at $414.50 and is up 88.85% for the year. Fucking called it. What are you looking at?
Something about this doesn't sound right to me. It's saying that Nintendo Switch has performed better than any other competitor in its first few months. I mean, I guess there's two ways to read that. One being that in its first 3 months, it did better than the PS4 and Xbox One have done.
In their first,
Well, not in there, because I don't think that's right.
That's correct, no. Remember when we had Japanese sales charts on here where the Nintendo Switch kept going up and up and up, whereas PlayStation 4 and Xbox One went down in terms of like how many they were selling week over week.
Really? From like in their first 3 months or whatever?
100%.
Oh man, that's shocking.
I think there was 1 month where, and I'm talking about comparative over the years, and kindoffunny.com/you're wrong if I'm wrong about this, but I remember these charts, I think talking to Andrea about it, where it was one that like PlayStation was above it in terms of what happened that week, but then it was just, Switch ran away with it.
Nuts.
Yeah. I know. What a great time for you, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Year dreams, point
dude,
four,
I mean, it's crazy. Like, to me, Nintendo selling a bazillion Switches is very important because it does mean there's an install base, which means that companies like Nintendo can commit even harder in first party and in taking risks and in doing big things. It also means that third parties like Capcom, like we were just talking about, are going to be like, you know what, I should commit to this.
They can't ignore it.
And you just can't ignore it. Like, oh, there's money to be made here, and there's a user base that wants good games. So this is all, to me, this is fantastic news. And also I like seeing Nintendo do well. Sure. It's also great to hear that Sony's doing well as well with this. I mean, having their most sold.
Yeah, they sold the most consoles of any Black Friday in their 22-year history.
That's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for them. Good for PSVR. Good for all this stuff.
Yeah, great time right now for gamers. But I think it's also for PlayStation selling so much. It speaks back to what we've talked about a lot this week of what happens with the next generation of consoles.
Yeah.
Like
Xbox One X even. Like, we're not hearing about that at all. Has there been any sales numbers for that? I know that it's a weird thing where they don't always like segment things and like put those things out unless there was like something to write home about.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that we haven't heard means that it's not lighting the world on fire, and it's not really the solution that Microsoft was looking for putting it out.
Yeah. Their messaging on it's going to be interesting when they finally do. But I remember PlayStation 4 Pro's first year. Nothing to write home about either.
Yeah, but I think that's different. Like that they put that out, and they're like Xbox One X had a huge marketing push behind it.
Polygon just put Ben over at Polygon just put up an article today that I want to get back to and read. Maybe it's your required reading about how the Xbox One X makes the PlayStation 4 look like a half measure, he said. And it's this giant report of his hands-on time with both of them for a while now. And I want to get back and read it. But
yeah, I mean, personally, I've been thinking about this a lot. I just wish there was more third-party games that really interest me, because I want to have a reason to get the Xbox One X because I have all the other
Well, like I said,
things.
We talked about it, I think, on the show 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, do you want? I have it just chilling. Do you want it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the moment that there's a game I want to play, I'll take it.
Okay, cool.
Until then, it's like there's just nothing that is grabbing my attention that I haven't already played.
Is that PUBG going to be the one that grabs your attention, you think?
I mean, I definitely want to play PUBG, but I don't know that Xbox One X is going to make it that much more fantastical.
You're a monster. Speaking of Greg Way, number 3 on the Roper Report, PlayerUnknown has clarified the first-person shooter, the frames per second thing from yesterday. If you remember yesterday, didn't make the Roper Report, but Andrea and I did talk about eventually the fact that there was this quote out from Brendan Green, PlayerUnknown himself, saying that the Xbox One X version of the game was going to run at 60 frames per second. Or at least that's what they were targeting, and the Xbox One version wouldn't. He clarified in a tweet, while I previously stated PUBG would run at a higher frames per second at XGP of launch on 12/12, I want to clarify that PUBG will run at 30 frames per second across all Xbox One devices. We're constantly refining the game and exploring options to increase frames per second, but this early in dev, we're unable to confirm more. So everybody chill out, put down your pitchforks. Not that it mattered at all. If you care that much about frame per second, you'd be buying the Xbox One X anyway. Am I wrong? If you care that much about frame per second, you'd be playing on PC. We're console people. Damn it, just give us the game.
Give us the game.
We don't care about load times. Make them 5 minutes. We'll play them. Mod Nation Racers, never forget.
Never forget.
So you really don't think PUBG on Xbox is going to move the needle for you? Because you liked it on PC, but
No. Hold on. Don't get me wrong. PUBG I love, but I don't think PUBG 4K, like, push the boundaries.
No.
I'm talking about Xbox One X. Like, if I was interested in playing Assassin's Creed Origins, I'd be all about that. Like, I want that type of experience where it's like built from the ground up to be this.
My apologies.
Spectacle. PUBG is like, I'm fine. I can play that shit on Ultra on my computer, and it looks fine.
Do you expect to play more on Xbox when it comes out?
I don't expect to play more on Xbox than I did on PC, but I expect to pop in, and I wanted.
I expect to play more. I expect it to be in the rotation of things that I'm actually, this one I'm going to play tonight. Right? You know, similar.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it sounds cool. I would love to. I feel like the rush of it being new is kind of gone now, and I'm not good at those games, so it's not like I'm competitively playing.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like the majority of people that I would play with don't have Xboxes. So
you play with me. You play with Andy.
Yeah. Does he have an Xbox?
Play with Big Cab Dog. That's what I'm saying. We got a crew. No, he's talking about Andy. Don't worry about it.
No.
Don't we have like 15 floating around here now? We have a bunch. We'll get him one. Whatever. Persona 5 sales have topped 2 million. This is via Atlus on Twitter. The tweet reads, Persona 5 has sold over 2 million copies worldwide. On behalf of everyone here at Atlus USA, we would like to thank everyone for their support. Enjoy, and then they put a drawing up from the series creator.
That's awesome.
Great to see that game doing so well.
Yeah, great sales for that franchise.
JRPG,
being limited on one console.
And, exactly. Yeah. That's the bigger thing, right? That it's only on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, no PC, none of that even. So
maybe you'll get a golden on Switch one day, which would be perfect and really change the game. I think personally, IMO. And then finally, Fortnite has been updated or is about to be updated. This is via GameSpot. They report Epic Games has provided a rundown of the current state of its popular Fortnite Battle Royale game and what players can expect in terms of updates, changes, and new additions in the future. Starting off, Epic acknowledged that Its current social features do not make it very easy to find friends to play with. Thankfully, changes are coming. From there, it's incredibly detailed and nerdy. So if you're a Battle Royale nerd, I would say go to GameSpot, check it out there, or of course just Epic's pages. I just looked over as Kevin was just licking his entire hand as he ate these hot Cheetos. That was definitely something for me to see. Did you ever even try Fortnite? Did you ever get in there?
No, I didn't.
No, I enjoyed it, but and maybe this would actually make it easier, or more enjoyable. But that was the disconnect I think I had with PUBG versus Fortnite. Where with PUBG, we all played together at the desks or whatever, and on Xbox, I can clearly see where I'm going to be like, all right, who wants to go play PUBG or whatever? And Fortnite was always just popped in, played for a while. You could try to team up, but as they say, it seems like it was always a hassle.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of Fortnite Battle Royale is really cool to me. I like the building the base idea, and that's why Metal Gear Survive sounds like such a disaster, where it's like, man, that game, it's just so insulting in so many ways that we've already discussed a million times. But I feel the fact that it's now coming out in February after PUBG and after Fortnite Battle Royale, it's going to be even worse off than it originally was going to be. First, people hated it just because, the Kojima, fuckery, all that stuff. But now it's like, oh, wait, so you have a game where the whole point is building the base and doing all that stuff, and you don't have a Battle Royale mode? That's not going to be good.
I mean, that game's getting sent out to die.
Sent out to die. And I think now it's just it's like before it was going to be just like a, handgun to the back of the head. Now it's just like a shotgun blast.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see if anybody talks about it at all. It really does feel like I forgot about it after playing it at E3, and then people started being like, what is happening? They put out a statement, it's been delayed, or they didn't delay it. They put out a statement of the release date.
There's a release date,
yeah, next year.
26th, I want to say.
Yeah. And even then it was like, all right, cool. I think you could go out and talk to most gamers and ask them what this game is about, and they'd have no fucking idea. Because I remember when we played at E3, you looked around and like, oh, these are all, no offense, and this isn't offensive, I guess. I looked around, this is all YouTubers and Twitch streamers. That's interestingly we got put in here and not with Games Press. And I just don't ever see IGN or GameSpot or anybody previewing it, let alone putting up news stories about it, let alone when you talk about games you're excited for in 2018, talking about it. Like, it's a game that's being released in a vacuum where there's just nobody cares about it seems. Maybe as we get closer to release date, people come out of the woodwork and really be about it. Maybe as we cross the new year, marketing will really ramp up for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Tim.
Yes.
I'm excited to see what happens in 2018 with all these games. But 2018 is still a ways away. Christmas is only 24 days away. If I wanted to know what came to the mom and grop shops today, digitally, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform is listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show host each and every weekday.
Yeah, it's not just digitally, it's also in stores. I'm apologizing. Out today, Soma on Xbox One, 7, The Days Long Gone on PC, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the Nintendo Switch. To which Andrew wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is out now on the Switch. Have either of you played it, or are you looking forward to playing it? Second part of the question, have either of you seen the reaction and backlash to some of the mixed reviews for the game coming out, particularly towards Jason Schreier at Kotaku? I know this is an issue that goes back a long time, but as someone who reads reviews of games for the criticism, as I would assume is the point, I don't understand this mentality. I love it when a reviewer can point out the same problems I had with a game I love. Why are gamers so entitled? And if they can't appreciate criticism, why do they read it? I assume this is frustrating for you folks as games journalists. Love the show, Andrew.
Jason Schreier tweets out to promote his review.
Yeah.
Xenoblade 2 is tedious, messy, and unconcerned with wasting the player's time. My review. And then he replies again, Xenoblade 2 understands that when it's delivering a serious emotional cutscene, the camera needs to be in just the right place. And then it's a picture of
the booty.
Anime girl butt.
Anime booty.
And yeah, so there's that. Meanwhile, the other side, Metacritic, very, very good.
Positive?
8.5.
Oh, okay, cool.
Overall. IGN gave it an 8.5. GameSpot gave it a 7. So it's like still high things. If anything, I would say that this is the lowest reviewed first-party Nintendo Switch game so far.
The year, yeah. Well, what did 1-2 Switch get? Are we not counting that?
You're right, but I'm not counting that.
Gotcha.
I'm talking about
real game.
Yeah. But no, you're right. But coming off of Splatoon, Mario Kart,
no,
Zelda,
of course.
Mario.
They've had a banner year.
Yeah, even Fire Emblem Warriors, and yeah. So there's a conversation there, and I can see where Andrew's question is coming from. it's interesting because we talk about this all the time, especially having been at IGN and have to deal with all this. People have different opinions, and it is the reviewer's job to be critical. And like what you're saying, it's like that garners a lot of hate and opinions of opinions, and that's where things can get kind of toxic and bad really quickly. Jason's coming at it from a very specific perspective, and what is that perspective? And I know he loves Final Fantasy. Does he love other JRPGs? And what are you bringing into this? When you look at who's reviewing it at IGN, it's people that play JRPGs, play the Tales games, play all these stuff. To answer your question about us playing it, I'm not going to play it. I don't really have interest in it. I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 for a little bit, and I was just like, this is a good game. I understand that. It's not for me. I have to limit my JRPG consumption because I just don't enjoy putting that much time into games at this point in my life, when it is just like a time sink. And
I'm the exact same way. Like historically, I'm not a JRPG person, with the exception of Persona. But even Persona this year, 25 hours in, and I got distracted by other stuff. And now I look at it, I'm just like, I can't. I just don't want to put another 60 hours into this game right now.
And it's like certain things I do absolutely love. Like Final Fantasy is one of them, and playing Octopath Traveler. Yeah. Like cannot wait for that game. It's one of my most anticipated games of next year. But then when I look at Xenoblade, I'm just like, okay, well, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 didn't grab me. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I didn't even really give a shot. And now this came out, and from all the things we've seen in the directs and stuff, I'm like, you know what? I get this, just not for me. And hearing Jason Schreier, who's someone that I respect his opinion, say, oh, it's a waste of your time, or it doesn't respect your time. I'm like, that's a big thing that I know I don't like in video games. Yeah. So I can look at that and be like, okay, cool. That reassures my thoughts about this game, where I'm like, cool, I'm not going to give it a shot. But then seeing all the other reviews be so positive, I'm like, all right, cool. If you like these games, which so many people do, it's for you. And I feel like that those people don't need to then defend Xenoblade as being like, oh, you're shitting on it, you're hitting on it. It's like, no, someone else has a different opinion. Right. And if you like it, talk about why you like it. Don't talk about why the person that doesn't like it's wrong.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, why? Andrew's question is, why are gamers so entitled? If they can't appreciate criticism, why do they read it? It's all about passion, and we're all, you watching this, people making the games, us talking about them, we're all so passionate about what we love about video games in some respect, and so the passion goes both ways, where if you're passionate about Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you're so excited for today, December 1st, to get your hands on it and actually play it. When you look out there and you see Jason saying all the stuff he doesn't like about it, taking poking fun at it with the cutscene business, like, your knee-jerk reaction is like, well, fuck that, I want to defend them, blah, 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 blah. We exist in this weird spot where reviews on day one, people want their pre-orders justified. They want their fandom justified. They want to know that this thing they were super excited for is awesome and amazing, and they want to do it. And there's tons of people who just want to read the review and see, oh, I really trust Jason, or I really trust Miranda Sanchez, or I really trust anybody at GameSpot. You know what I mean? Like, I want to know, I know what they like. They like the same things I want. I want to get in there and see what they thought of this thing. There's tons and tons and tons of those. They are the silent majority. But then there is the vocal minority that doesn't agree with the review and wants to tear people down because they don't want to accept the fact that this game isn't amazing for everyone. It's the same thing with Zelda right now, where so many people think Zelda's game of the year, and so many other people are writing. There was just a tip today before we went live with this that
there's a question today about this too.
Oh, of course. Then we'll get to that, and then later on, the thing of just like, well, I don't think this is even remotely game of the year. And for me, it's crazy how all this happens, but it's how fandom happens. And what I think about all the time is think about ice cream. When you go into the ice cream shop and somebody's like, oh man, my favorite flavor is Rocky Road. I'm like, oh, I'm a chocolate guy. At no point do I go, ugh, Rocky Road? Are you fucking kidding me? Is the best ice cream of all time?
Kevin,
what is like disgusting and blah, blah.
Kevin is passionate about ice cream in a way that.
Okay, well. And you're allowed to have that, but you then move on for the most part, unless you're Kevin. And that doesn't happen with video games. And for some reason, we all get stuck in this gear. And for some reason, when somebody like this weekend, and I don't mean to be callous, but it's exactly what I'm talking about, where this weekend somebody went to the movies and tweeted me and goes, ugh, sorry about Justice League, game over, Greggy. I'm here, and this is everybody who's in the theater, and it's like 3 other people. And I just responded, I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit. What are you talking about? Like, I didn't make the film, and even if I did, I'd be proud of the film I made and be done with it. Like, I'm not here to argue and get in the weeds every time somebody wants to. Well, you liked Batman v Superman? Sure did. I'm moving on now. Bye. Like, I don't care. This isn't what it's about. And like, video games, we can't get over that hump. And it is this thing that reviewers are the gatekeepers. They are the first line of they're the tip of the sword. They've invested the 30 hours into this game already, more probably in Xenoblade's example. And so you want to get out of the blocks as a gamer and start playing it so you can have an opinion about the opinion. It sucks. I hate it. I hate that we all get in arguing so much. And that's why I love what we found kind of funny on of like, we're here to celebrate games and have fun and talk about games. And like, yeah, it's going to lead to discussions where we don't agree, but.
And that's the thing too, is I feel there is something that's so impersonal about the being online and just shit being thrown at this person or that person for whatever they're saying. The difference being like when it's me and you having this conversation, it's like we can talk about Justice League and our thoughts on it, and it can get real extreme where it's like it gets to the point where we're defending things on the like just putting up the devil's advocate arguments or whatever, fighting harder than we actually care because that's fun and it's interesting and that's content. I think another example is like Uncharted 3 versus Uncharted 2.
Sure,
we'll fight about that forever, but it's like cool. That's
one of us is on the right side of history, though.
But the thing is, like, I love Uncharted 3.
Yeah, no, of
I
course.
love it. But, it's not as good as Uncharted 2. But, like, I love it. And I think that's the type of thing where it's like, that's cool because there's an actual discussion there.
Yeah.
And, like, here's why.
It's not 140 or 280 characters of just like, fuck you, man. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Blah, blah, blah. You know?
Yeah. So.
And even when we do put on the character hat, like yesterday, shout out to everybody who's tweeted me over the last 24 hours. In hysterics at me and Andrea going at it about Darksiders and Patapon. Like, that's a great example where I'm like, fucking Darksiders sucks. And she's like, you haven't even played it. And like, well, and it's like, by the end of it, it's like, yeah, I haven't played it and I'll try it out and da da da. You know what I mean? Like, but as in online, that would read much different of, here's a fucking thing about how I don't like this thing. Everybody's mad. I come back. Am I going to stand my ground? Am I going to, back down? And like, whatever. Everybody's an online bully.
What else is coming out today, Greg?
A big one, Doom VFR on PlayStation VR, and I believe also, I have it as just PSVR here. I think it's also on HTC, but kindafunny.com/you're wrong if I'm wrong. If not, don't fucking say it. Don't editorialize. Blue Angels, Aerobatic.
It ain't acrobatic because it's a fucking airplane,
Flight
Greg.
Simulator on Xbox One's out. Skyforce Reloaded on Xbox One, and Gear.Club Unlimited, and I didn't put a platform. So whatever that thing is, sounds like that's for you and you're there for it. New dates for you. This isn't even a new date, but it's not news for sure. Kid Buu is the latest fighter to be joining Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Does that make you dick hard, Kev?
And then...
Are you excited for Dragon Ball Fighters?
Kevin's getting his mic ready. Is he excited for Dragon Ball Fighter Z?
Not really, but I'm down to play it. And
It looks
is the
dope
strongest
as
of them all.
fuck, man. That game, it's going to sneak up on motherfuckers.
Okay. And then, one that snuck up on me, but super exciting. Jak 2, Jak 3, and Jak X Combat Racing are all coming to PlayStation 4 as PS2 classics on December 6th. Fuck yeah.
It's real soon. 5 days.
Yeah, exactly. Next Tuesday. No deals of the day for you, but it's time for Reader Mail, and I need to tell you, Reader Mail's brought to you by Lisa in Omaha Steaks. I don't like going to the mattress store.
It's true.
We've talked about this. You've heard it all week, so I don't need to drive it home. Joey ordered her Lisa mattress.
She did.
I ordered my mattress online. Online mattresses are the way to go. Lisa cuts out the bad guy and the middleman and that stupid having to go to the store thing. It takes away all the pressure. The Lisa mattress is 100% American made and delivered, compressed in a box to your door. It is thoughtfully crafted with high quality materials to create what Lisa calls their universal adaptive feel. Its 3 foam layers provide support, pressure relief, and cooling that adapts to all body shapes, sizes, and sleeping styles. You actually got an internet mattress too. I just forgot about that.
And I can confirm. Big fan. They come in the box. You open the box.
Everyone's favorite thing is them.
It's great.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable. Mattresses in this tiny little thing. I still don't understand it. It's magic.
It is magic.
Magic.
As I said yesterday, this is a great gift idea for little kids. You buy this mattress and they unbox it and then it goes poof, and like the kid thinks you're a magician.
Yeah.
Sit there and do the magic wand stuff. 15 points for Gryffindor. You get a 100-night trial with Lisa. You don't like it, they'll come back for it, they'll refund your money. Mattresses cost thousands in the store, but Lisa starts at just $525. But you can get $100 off right now by going to lisa.com/kindafunny and entering the promo code kindafunny. That's Lisa, LEESA.com/kindafunny. Promo code kindafunny, all one word. Next sponsor is Omaha Steaks. Omaha Steaks so good, we ate them at Extra Life. They sent us this package, which is 75% off if you use the code KF Games. It's $49.99, and they're gonna send you a whole bunch of food. Kevin, how good was the food at Extra Life that I grilled out there? What did we get, Kevin? I'm freestyling.
Steaks?
Yeah, okay, so what we got was, what you're doing,
Sausage?
you're getting the family gift pack from omahasteaks.com with the code KFGames. For just $50, you're getting 2 filet mignons, 2 top sirloins, 2 boneless pork chops, 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 kielbasa sausages, 4 burgers, 4 potatoes au gratin, 4 caramel apples heartlets, and 1 Omaha Steak seasoning packet. Plus, you get 4 additional kielbasa sausages for free. To get the deal, you go to omahasteaks.com omahasteaks.com, enter the code KFGames in the search bar, and you get that 75% savings, bringing it down to $49.99. Again, it's so good. I sent it to my father for Christmas. He loved it so much, he sent it back to me.
Love it. That's such a
That's
good
how the
story.
Greg Millers work.
Not send it back to you.
No,
Got
no,
you
yeah.
a new
He
one
bought
later.
a new one.
Yeah.
And Dad doesn't use the internet, so he did not get 75% off like you can. omahasteaks.com / or not, god damn it. Search bar, KF Games. Where do I want to start you now? Let's start with Flick. Flick writes into kindafunny.com / KFGD just like you can and says, "Hi, Greg. I was excited to hear you are leading the Uncharted 10th anniversary panel at PSX, and I started to think about the Uncharted franchise as a whole. Now that Drake's story is over and Naughty Dog has released Lost Legacy and put their entire team on development of The Last of Us Part 2, parentheses, per a statement from Neil Druckmann, the Uncharted brand seems to be in limbo. I don't know if it's limbo as much as it's kind of parked in the garage for right now, but I'll stay out of it till you're done. The brand is huge for Sony. Will we see a Halo situation for Uncharted, parentheses, i.e., Bungie handing off the reins to 343 Studios, or will Naughty Dog return in 10 years, or is Uncharted now just an anniversary panel status from here on out? I'd love to see a new protagonist rise from the ashes and carry the banner forward, but I must admit, any other studio doing it other than the Doghouse makes me nervous. Thanks for everything you guys do. Kind of funny. Flick."
I don't think we'll see a Halo situation. I think that was a very unique business opportunity when it came to Bungie and 343 and Microsoft buying things and them wanting to do Destiny and like a lot of that stuff.
Sure.
With Naughty Dog, I do see them going back to Uncharted at some point. But yeah, it's like there has been a lot of it in the last decade.
My prediction would be this. Yes, you're 100% right that no, there will not be a 343 situation. I think based on the way Sony and PlayStation treat Golden Abyss alone proves that, like, cool. Fans don't want that. It'll never be seen as a full-on Uncharted game. It'll never get the props it deserves because Golden Abyss, great game. Great Uncharted game. But Naughty Dog is the crown jewel of Sony Worldwide Studios. PlayStation doesn't want to fuck that up, and they don't want to take a franchise, that is this important, that is this loved, and toss it into just anybody's hands, nor do any developers want to take on that and live in the shadow of this. Even Jack and Daxter Lost Frontier, which wasn't handled by Naughty Dog, was a game that you played and you're like, oh, this is all right, but it's not a Jack and Daxter game.
Yeah, and I mean, also with the Halo situation,
100%.
It was the same team, just splintered off, and like just different people left and this or that.
True. But no, I don't think you're going to see that happen. What I do think happens is that we get Last of Us Part 2, then we get another new IP from Naughty Dog. They're doing something else different, maybe for PlayStation 5 or whatever happens next. Because Last of Us I still think is a ways out. You get another IP from them, and then they roll with that. Depending on where Last of Us is left, maybe you get more in that world, and then we cycle back for one more with the new IP, and then I feel like we'd be like, all right, we don't want to do Last of Us again. Is it time to do another new IP? It was the new thing we introduced after Last of Us Part 2 a hit and did it find an audience and all this different stuff, or is it time to take a glance at Uncharted? But even that, I feel like the fact that Naughty Dog didn't go back and do Jack, right? We always talk about this, that after what The Last of Us started originally as, hey, let's make another Jack game. And they started looking at it and they're like, oof, this looks weird having Jack in, PlayStation 3 technology and looking in HD the way they were working on it. And they also are creators that have grown in so many different ways that you really do feel just the way video game development works. By the time we get to where Naughty Dog's going to look and think about their next IP, their next project, how many people are going to be there from the original Uncharted team or that worked on Uncharted 4 or worked on Lost Legacy? And then do they really want to pick up that mantle? Do they really want to do that? Or do they want to move on and try something completely brand new?
There is a difference, which is the sales numbers of Jack versus the Uncharted series. The Uncharted series sold a lot more than Jack did. So there is influence there.
But I also feel like, in PlayStation and Shuhei have said as much, like, Naughty Dog's Naughty Dog. We
Yep.
stay the fuck out of their
We get
way.
it. We let them do what they're doing. And and knowing people there, like knowing how Naughty Dog works, I can imagine them not wanting to go back to Uncharted that way.
Yeah.
I can also see them going back and doing the smaller Lost Legacy style things in different ways every couple years or whatever, like we talked about during the review. I can see them doing that just with smaller teams and just like to have something out and like making Uncharted this kind of anthology thing, because I think that makes a lot of sense. And especially depending on where Lost Legacy ends up sales-wise and reception-wise after a year of being on the market. I think that could be a possibility.
I see. I would think they wouldn't do it. I think that, not that they don't like Lost Legacy, but I think the fact that here we are, Game of the Year, and like Lost Legacy isn't really getting thrown around that much, right? I don't think, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Naughty Dog's in this for awards and accolades and bullshit like that, but I do think they're like, all right, cool, like, let's make something. We understand that if we want to be recognized and have all this stuff outside of just the PlayStation ecosystem and continue to be Naughty Dog, the premier name, we have to give premier experiences. So I think it'd be weird to come back in like a year and a half, 2 years and be like, all right, here's a Chloe Cutter story. You know what I mean? Like, I think they need to come back and have, when inevitably it comes back, because I think they have, I don't know. Naughty Dog's just that studio that they can do whatever the fuck they want. And I really don't think they're going to be like, hey, we have all these new people around, they want to do this stuff, and we really want to go back and tell this story of
Whatever.
Not to spoil Uncharted 4, but where we want to pick up kind of where that left off 15 years later or whatever.
I don't know, man. The Naughty Dog now is very different than it was in even the PS2 era.
Yeah.
So, like, who knows? It's interesting. I'm excited for whatever it is. The idea of a new Naughty Dog IP is very exciting as well.
Yeah.
I think that where the PS4 generation ends will dictate a lot of this as well.
Sure.
Because we don't know that. We talked about this a couple days ago on the show, but like how long until the PS5 comes? Because will we get another Naughty Dog game this generation that's not Last of Us Part 2? That will, I think, really decide what happens with this.
Yeah. We'll see. I think it's a ways out if you're ever going to get it. Warren Pawlowski writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD, just like you can, and says, I'm currently reading Jason Schreier. God damn it. Did Jason Schreier sponsor this podcast? Jason Schreier's Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. It's really good. And just hit the final chapter about Star Wars 1313. In it, Jason writes about an earlier version that was thrown around that would, in essence, have been Star Wars Grand Theft Auto. It was nixed because they figured it would cost too much. But with EA's lackluster use of the license, what would you think of Disney handing Rockstar the reins to tackle something like that? Obviously, with the GTA Online-esque component as well. They certainly need something to do after the new Red Dead, right? Well, no, Warren, they're working on the other GTA right now and probably a bunch of other things after Red Dead, and they're going to be in no hurry to put either that game out because GTA Online continues to kill. Red Dead's going to have a long tail as well.
I can't imagine Rockstar ever being interested in Star Wars. Rockstar has one of the very few video game IPs that is as important as some of the biggest, I mean, maybe not Star Wars because Star Wars is Star Wars, but it's as important as some of the biggest names in entertainment.
See, I would think that's I hear what you're saying. I think it stands in the pantheon of brands or IP like Star Wars.
Yeah.
GTA.
Like, I put that up
GTA.
there with something as like Marvel or like Grand Theft Auto is in maybe Super Mario and Pokemon are the other two things that are just synonymous with video games. In the mainstream media.
For everybody.
And so it's like, why there's not really an advantage to their sales numbers are already so high. The money they make from GTA, let alone GTA Online, is so astronomical that tacking on licensing and like all the fees that they'd have to pay for stuff, it's like, is Star Wars really going to make it sell even more? I don't know.
The real thing about it would be, and stick with me because this is going to get heady. It won't happen ever because it's too much of a business move. If you want to like detract everything away from it, take away all the knowledge you know about it, it'd be a no-brainer that you guys are awesome at you're awesome at open world games. We have this awesome franchise. We want to make it like that. Go ahead and go there. And like to immediately look at like Rockstar being like, yep, let's sign the contract is so not who Rockstar is. The Houser brothers, no way. Everybody who works there, no way. Having the chance to go there and interview Dan Houser and sit around and talk to people there, Rockstar, and I don't, and I'm not, this makes it sound like I don't agree. I agree. But Rockstar thinks of itself as artists. They are making art. And it is that thing of like, when you think about like the Disney contracts and the back and forth you have to assume on, we want to use this character.
Especially in Star Wars.
Exactly. Let's go and do this stuff. Rockstar is Rockstar because they don't have to answer to fucking anybody.
They're rock stars.
Exactly. They don't have to answer to Take-Two. They go and they make the fucking game they want to make, and they want to put social commentary in it, and they want to have it be this look at not of American culture and greed and drugs and this stuff. And I'm not saying that's all they can say. Clearly, Red Dead isn't that. But Red Dead is the same thing of like, let's push it to extremes.
Tell the story we want to tell.
Let's give players these games that they get involved in and have moments with. And you can totally see where, and this isn't knocking Star Wars or Disney, they're going to get in the way of that. Look at every director that has left the Star Wars projects, right? Because of creative differences. You're the fucking Rockstar. Like, you know what I mean? Like the stories you've heard of Rockstar, like fucking crazy shit over there. The fact that outside of the Housers, who do you know that works at Rockstar? Like, that's just not who they are. And they have a great thing fucking going over there. And they're really, really talented people. And there's no way they would do this. Now, I would love the idea that Disney, and again, this EA thing makes it all weird, but we keep seeming coming back to this. Like in 10 years when this exclusivity deal's up, I love the idea of Disney being, all right, that was fun. Thanks, EA. Let's work with other talented people and go find another talented studio to do a giant open world Star Wars game. Sure. I mean, like, again, I liked Watch Dogs 2 a lot. I think, you know, Ubisoft would be a really interesting fit for an open world Star Wars game that is Grand Theft Auto, even though I haven't read that chapter in Jason's book yet. It's still sitting on my mantle. I don't know.
Yep.
I like video games.
Me too. Video games are cool.
I like Rockstar a lot too. We don't talk about them enough because it's just like they just for years do their thing and then come out and give you something.
Is the party mode? That's next week's party mode.
There is a Grand Theft Auto online party mode up right now on Patreon. On YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames, and then there's another one coming up. Yeah, I think on Patreon on Wednesday. Yeah, because Arena Gods is Patreon now. But lots more GTA Online coming to youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Go check it out. Where do I want to go? I let you pick the questions, so I don't know where I'm going, and they're all Nintendo.
Bryan D.
Bryan D writes in a novel, and Tim didn't edit it at all.
Am I supposed to edit the questions?
I don't know. I mean, is it a good question all the way through?
And all the questions were Nintendo questions. I didn't just choose Nintendo questions.
I'm just saying what the YouTube's going to say. You know what I mean? And they're also going to say how good I look in this hat. They're also going to screen cap the next 5 seconds and send it to Jen Genevieve Saint-Onge. Thank you. Sorry, audio listeners, for that. Bryan D writes into kindoffunny.com/KFGD just like you can and says, so we're at the point of the year where pretty much everyone is talking about Game of the Year. Good rhyme there. I feel. Why is it a rhyme if it's just the same word? It sounded good. I feel like often when I've been listening to the conversation of people that argue for Mario or Zelda, 2 games I haven't played yet, as I won't have a Switch until Christmas, damn being adult and being responsible, what am I excited for? The conversation breaks down to them talking about whether the game is the best Mario/Zelda game ever and veers away from Game of the Year conversation. That leads me to my question. Are these truly great games that should run away with Game of the Year like some argue, or are the decades of nostalgia and connection associated with the franchise for giving them that extra bump, especially for people like Tim that have a deep love and connection to Nintendo cultivated over a lifetime? Not calling you a fanboy, I think you're actually pretty fair and critical of them most of the time. I see why this question got in here, despite the connection. If both games were exactly the same, except make them a new IP, would they be getting the same love? Would we be talking about Horizon as really the runaway winner because it would potentially stand out more as a new IP everyone liked? Or even Persona 5 as the breakout for a long-loved franchise that takes it to a new level? Would these games, not being Mario or Zelda, have allowed Wolfenstein or Cuphead or any of the other great games that came out this year to have jumped on the list? Without playing them, I cannot say for myself, so I am genuinely curious as to what you both think. Thanks for the hours of entertainment you all provide and keeping me informed in this world of video games that I love.
So this is the question I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, no,
it goes back to it.
Good job.
I truly feel like all of these things are factors that have to come into play when you're having these discussions. There's no way that you can just live in a vacuum and take things out and compare things as if they're all equal. They're not equal, especially in the world of video games. Everything's different, whether it's the platform it's on or the franchise it's in or the studio developing it. Like all of these things and their history and good press and bad press and all that. It's hard it's impossible to separate all those. So when you take things like Zelda or Mario, the reason that the conversation keeps coming back to, is this the best Zelda? Is this the best Mario? Is because you're talking about Game of the Year, there needs to be something real special there. And I feel like, despite what a lot of people say of like, oh, it's only in the conversation because it's Nintendo, I see it the other way, where it's like, man, they really needed to be something special in order to be in the conversation for game of the year.
Sure.
Because people have seen Mario before, people have seen Zelda before, and when you have things that are new and different, the new shiny thing is always going to be more exciting than the stuff that's tried and true. You saw things like when Skyward Sword came out, it didn't win Game of the Year. It was overrated by a lot of people, but it didn't win Game of the Year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think what Mario Galaxy did win Game of the Year for a lot of people, and to me that made sense because it's what I'm saying. It's like at that point it's like, oh, is this the best Mario? Oh shit, yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
And I feel like Odyssey being in that conversation again is what puts it in the Game of the Year conversation. Same thing with Zelda. Then when you look at other things, it's like, yeah, Horizon gets an extra bump because it is new, it is different, and I feel like that's an important thing when you're talking about Game of the Year.
For me, that's what kind of blows. I've heard this argument before in other podcasts and other reader mail and stuff like that. Trying not to sneeze, sorry. But when it's like, oh, what if you stripped away the Mario license and the Nintendo license? Or Zelda license. Nobody would care about. And I disagree. Both of those games are magic. They are magic moments of just like, what is over there? I'm going to do it. Okay, I found this guy. I threw my rusty thing. That's all. Every trite thing you've heard about Zelda, and it's the same thing with Mario that we we discussed both these games to death in our Game Awards Gamescast. Available now. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames. But if you stripped them away, then yeah, you'd have Horizon and Cuphead. You'd have two other games that are like, these are new IPs. These are new games that made it to the Game of the Year conversation because they're awesome. And if you're going to give shit to Mario and Zelda, then yeah, you'd have to give the same shit to Persona 5 because it is. Guess why Persona 5's there? Because it's an amazing game and everybody loves it. But you call it the Breakout. It's selling better, right? The Breakout was Persona 4 Golden. That was the game everybody played and was like, oh, fuck, something's here. That's great. But it was, you played it, a lot of people played it way after the fact of Game of the Year when they finally got around to playing it on Vita and doing this. It was ignored on PlayStation 2 because, oh, it's just another JRPG and there's a million other things to come out, let alone, I think, PlayStation 3 had already dropped at that point. Persona 5, and this is somebody who loves Persona 4 Golden, loved Persona 3 on PS2, is the evolution of that franchise. It is the best Persona so far because of the style and everything, and it's beautiful and it's HD and it's these best things. But one of the reasons I'm not at all engaged to go back is like, I've played a lot of Persona and I feel like I know what this one is and where it's going. Mario and Zelda, you can make the argument, oh, you're going to go fight Ganon, you're going to go fight Bowser. Those levels were magic. I did not know what I was about to do when I fucking, in Zelda, coast down to that island for the first time and land, and it takes away all my stuff, and it's like, all right, survive. It was like, this is awesome. In Mario, when I'm trying to figure out how to get all the way over there using the crazy jumps in my hat, this is awesome. Wait, can I capture that? I capture it. It's like key to that level. Like, this is so much fun. This is so different. It's keeping me going on a different level than all these other games did.
We've talked about these games and Game of the Year a lot, and we will be talking about a lot more in the next couple of weeks as well. But something I keep thinking about these games. I keep thinking about, really, in my heart of hearts, what do I believe is the best game between those two and any of the other great games? And
PUBG.
To me, a lot of it does come back to the idea of, is it the best Zelda and is it the best Mario? And I think that, to me, that is important in my Game of the Year decision. And that's why I feel like we talk about that so much. With Mario specifically, like, the more I think about, Zelda is right now my Game of the Year.
Sure.
And when I look at that, it's like, well, if Zelda wasn't, Mario would be. And it's like, you take Mario and pretend Zelda didn't come out this year, I almost feel like it'd be a different conversation for me on whether or not it's Game of the Year. Because if I can't honestly say this is my favorite Mario of all time, I don't know that I would give it Game of the Year over something like Horizon.
See, and this is, look at how simpatico we are here. My thought while we were having this conversation, because you said that before you even talked about the Mario thing, I have no allegiance to Nintendo, really, right? I start really being a Nintendo fan at N64, in which I find Ocarina of Time, which I still think is the best Zelda. That is the kind of Zelda I want. That is story driven. There are conversations to have with all these people. The world's changing. Blah 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 blah. I think Skyward Sword is I'm not Skyward Sword. Breath of the Wild is the best playing Zelda. It's the best world. The gameplay of that is amazing, and that's why it's in my Game of the Year conversation. Whereas Mario, I do think is the best Mario of all time for me.
I guess for me, even when I'm talking, like you saying that, it's like what you're saying is absolutely right, and it goes along with what I'm talking about when I say the best Mario. I'm talking about best 3D Mario in this style of Mario game. Like, I'm not comparing it to Mario 3. That's not fair. They're different games. Like, just because they have the same protagonist, it's like, Let's be honest. They're totally different games. So like comparing this to Mario 64, and I would even say the Galaxy games, like that's where I'm having the problems. Like, do I think this is a better game than Galaxy 2? I don't know. And I'm going to keep thinking about it.
Please do. All right.
I will.
So yeah, I don't fall into the thing that, oh man, if you remove nostalgia, these games would be forgettable or just not that great. I think they, like Cuphead and Horizon, would ascend to a place that would get them there. I mean, I think another thing too is, of course, you talk about like, oh man, so many people played them. Is it nostalgia? I think it's also because the Switch needs AAA games, and these are AAA games, and you have a Switch, as millions of people do, so you're going to jump in and play these games. But I digress. We'll see. Final question you put on here, Tim. Comes from a guy from Canada. He wrote into kindoffunny.com/KFGD and says, "Hello, Greg, and his ever prestigious co-host. Early this year, many Metroid fans rightfully rejoiced at the announcement of 2 new games. It seems as though Retro isn't the developer behind Metroid Prime 4, so I can only imagine they are working on another beloved Nintendo property. Parentheses. I think they could do wonders with Star Fox brand, though I doubt that is what they are making. Or they are designing an entirely new IP. As we always crave new experiences, but also want new entries of our beloved franchises, I was wondering what developers you want to tackle sequels, and what developers you want to make new IP. Personally, I would love BioWare to do a proper new Star Wars KOTOR, but Naughty Dog to do something entirely new, though I, like everyone else, will be there day one for both Anthem and Last of Us Part 2. Keep up the great work, and I hope you enjoy the incoming holidays, a guy from Canada." Interesting question.
Yeah.
Naughty Dog, yeah. I want them to keep making new things. I count Last of Us Part 2 as new. It's still in their new IP. It's not Uncharted 5, which even though Uncharted 4 is great. So I'm a total hypocrite. But I like it when they make something new and then stick with it for as long as they need to tell the story they want to tell.
New IP is very exciting when done right, and it kind of solves the problem of what we were talking about in the last question of, do you only like it because it's the same thing?
Yeah.
It's a new question of, do you only like it because it's the studio you like? But whatever. Going to Retro here, it's like, I want Retro to make a new IP. I hope they're working on a new IP. Would I be stoked as hell if they were working on a Star Fox? Yeah, I would. Or any other Nintendo IP, like a 3D Donkey Kong that they're really committing to? Yeah, I would. And whatever it is, I trust Retro. In the same way, I trust Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
So having said that, I do hope that it is new. And I hope that they put something out that makes people look at the Switch and go, oh shit, like, this isn't one of the same things we've seen a million times. This is something different. And hopefully then it is as good as Retro's previous games have been. Taking other people and having them do things like it's hard because I feel like once you take out the core of what the thing is, what's the point of it? I remember a long time ago there was a rumor of a Metroid Star Fox crossover developed by Retro. And it's like, that sounded like such a cool idea. But then the more I think about it, I'm like, I don't know that I really want that.
Yeah.
You know? And Star Fox I don't think is being worked on at all right now. I could be wrong about that. I just feel like Star Fox got the shit end of the stick because they used it as the proof of what the Wii U gamepad can do way too late in the Wii U's life cycle, and they put it out to die when they decided they're putting the Wii U out to die.
Yeah.
At the end. And in addition to that, it came out in a post Star Wars Return world. When Star Fox came out on the Super Nintendo and then really hit on the N64, it was like, oh, cool. It's like a Star Wars thing, whatever. But then when it's actually competing with Star Wars, it's like, oh, it's a knockoff. And that sucks because Star Fox is such a cool world.
The long and short of it for me, a guy from Canada, is that I always want the developer to make whatever they're passionate about. And I say that, and that can easily blow up in your face and easily work out really well. I think a great example of what we're talking about right now is Insomniac, where, hey, here's Sunset Overdrive. Man, you talk to the guy, Drew and Marcus. I was like, wait, I know. You talked to them when they were out there talking about that game and putting that game and making that game, and they were so passionate about it, and I loved their passion. They were so happy to make it. And then it came out and it just didn't resonate with anybody. And that sucks. But then that opens the door in some fashion, you believe, to Spider-Man. Of like, look at how well they could do Locomotion. We need to get, here's an IP that's established that you put out, and it's one of them. Everybody knows how talented Insomniac is. Everybody knows how good Sunset Overdrive was. Like, let's put this there. Let's give the guys who do Ratchet, who did Resistance, who did this, an IP that everyone suddenly cares about. And that game's going to come out and do fucking gangbusters. And that's awesome and get it in front of new people.
Yeah, playing this game, I mean, it's fun to just take IP and take a developer and slap them together. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, Rocksteady and Ninja Turtles, I'd love that. Yeah. That sounds so cool to me.
And I want them to do Superman, but you know how it goes. Time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD. Give me your name, username, platform of choice, and why you need help on it. I read it here. The best friends come and find you. Everybody plays games together and celebrates Shuhei Yoshida. Today we're squadding up on Xbox. Drew writes in. His gamer tag is Stokes. Stokes. Xbox Gold has had different quests each month. For December, the 3 quests are 1. Add Xbox Live Gold to home. 2. Play 10 hours of online multiplayer. And 3. Add 10 new friends. Completing these earn you a mystery gift, suggested retail price of $10, and a sweepstake entry for a Samsung 55-inch QLED. Is that just a misprint? OLED?
No, QLED is Samsung's bullshit.
Gotcha. 4K TV. So instead of adding 10 random yahoos to check this box, I thought I'd add some best friends. So add me and I'll add you.
My favorite yahoos.
I play Overwatch, Gears of War 4, and Star Wars Battlefront on the multiplayer side of things. Everybody, let's win Stokes a TV. Go on Xbox Live, send Stokes a message. Now, Tim has added in one of the rotating segments called This Trophy Can Go Fuck Itself. Today, I don't know who wrote in. Do you got a name?
This game can go fuck itself.
Oh, this game can go fuck itself. My apologies. This game can go fuck itself. I don't know who wrote in. There's no name. What's good, Greg and Tim? This is not so much a question as it is, this game can go fuck itself. After many hours of playing through Middle-earth Shadow of War, I must say that the final act is the worst section of any game I've ever played. Not only do you have to replay the same mission type over and over again, but if you fail at defending your fortress, you don't just get a game over, please try again. No, they fucking take your fortress, and you are forced to take an extra 30 minutes taking it back from them so you can retry the 10th defense mission this act has made you do so far. And all that remains after these missions is a 3-minute cutscene. It's incredibly difficult, orcs higher level than you and your orcs, some killing you in 2 hits, having to fight like 3 or 5 champions at the same time, and frustrating to the point that I'm done with this game forever. I've platinum games like Bloodborne and Persona 4 Golden, and they didn't come close to being this frustrating. Sorry for the rant, but I wanted to exclaim, there's more to this game to be pissed about than loot boxes. Love you guys. Hip Hop Anonymous. Fuck that game then. Tim?
Yes.
We asked people watching live to go to kindafunny.com/you're wrong. Tell us what we screw up as we screw it up. What did we screw up today?
My dude, Capitalist Pig, comes in and says, regarding the PS4 outside the Switch a few months back, there's a lot of people that reply to this, all of them confirming what you were saying. That there was a week that it had.
Greggy got it.
That was great. But what I was saying earlier is that there was 2 ways to read that sentence.
Sure.
One of them being that in the months of March to whatever the fuck, November 2017, I was like, I don't think that it's true that the Switch was always the highest selling console.
Okay.
And I was right about that. In the US, the PS4 outsold Switch in June, fueled by 1 terabyte gold PS4 Slim.
Cheer.
Yeah. Esenius Chalmers.
Chalmers. It's a Simpsons reference.
Got it. Sorry, Tim, but Capcom has already put more than Street Fighter 2. Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 have already been ported over, so to completely write off Capcom putting something like a Mega Man X collection on Switch is just wrong. I mean, I'm not completely writing it off. I'm just saying that I wouldn't get your hopes up that it's like a for sure thing.
Gotcha.
Legacy Collection 2 came out after the Switch was out, and that felt like that should be there. And it wasn't. And also, the Revelations 1 and 2 do not seem like Capcom really gives a shit.
Sure.
Especially with the European stuff that they pulled.
Don't barf. Tim is looking for more questions for you. He's got some you're wrongs or rights. Who doesn't know?
I don't know. I'm just going to read this. Xeno0 says, yesterday Greg mentioned that Bungie was displaying the incorrect number of XP gained intentionally. Turns out this was not predatory or malicious act. It was actually a bug. On the Bungie podcast released on November 29th.
You can stop. We talked about this on the show yesterday.
Cool.
Andrea read this.
My bad.
No, it's not you. It's just this guy's bad. You're bad.
Oh, you sneaky fucks. Rookie Detective says earlier, y'all said Persona 5 was only on PlayStation 4. It's also on PlayStation 3.
All right.
Yeah.
I always forget that. That's a good one. That's a good correction. All right.
Yeah, good job, guys.
All right. He's looking at you voted for Andrea. Go to Google and put in trending gamer vote. I just reminded myself.
Regarding this is Capitalist Pig. Regarding Xenoblade being the lowest rated first party Switch game, Xenoblade is currently at 84 on Metacritic. Splatoon 2 is at 83. ARMS is at 77. Interesting. We'll see where it all nets out. I'm talking. I was meaning more general, just interest levels and stuff. And also talking about reviews from the big sites.
The big sites. Did a bonus Superman symbol on the front today because we had extra.
Oh, yeah? You feeling good about that?
No.
Gear Unlimited is a Switch exclusive. It's a mobile game port.
Thank you.
Lucid Dream. Ice27 says you guys skip deals of the day, but Call of Duty World War II is a deal of the day on Amazon for $38.
I mean,
Enjoy.
we didn't skip it. I didn't see it, but thank you. It's just like there were none, but then there's this one. But how am I going to find everything on Amazon? You know what I mean?
This is editorializing, but in a fun way. Speedy99, not really a you're wrong statement, but you might have left out the most important announcement following the Jack and Daxter releases. There will be a PS2 themed dynamic theme for the PS4 releasing alongside, and damn, it looks fresh as fuck.
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you. Still reading them.
PD0000 says, Tim said 343 was splintered off from Bungie. Only 4 people moved over from Bungie to 343. Most notably Frank O'Connor as franchise development director. The other 250 or so employees who worked on Halo 4 previously worked at Microsoft or new hires.
Roasted.
True. I am roasted.
You got roasted on that one.
They were 4 important people, though.
Don't grasp at your straws.
I'm not grasping straws. I'm being honest. Frank O'Connor? Yeah. The face of Bungie?
Kevin, don't fucking defend him over here.
Cool. We're done.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. You can watch live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames. If you have Amazon Prime, you could toss us your free Twitch Prime subscription. Remember, if you don't toss it to someone each and every 30 days, it just sits there. Nobody gets that money. Amazon laughs at you because they just took your money. So even if you're somebody who watches on YouTube or does the podcast, it would mean a lot if you linked it up and gave it to us. It helps us keep the lights on. You can watch later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can also get party mode, including those GTA Online ones we were talking about, or you can get it on podcast services around the globe. No matter where you get it, thank you for supporting the show. It means the world to us. Have a lovely weekend. Play a lot of video games. Tim and I will be back on Monday. But until then, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
All right, guys, let me apologize right there.